Good morning, friends. Thanks for being here. Today I'm going to explain about one of the very important concepts of agronomy, or we can say one of the very important concepts of agriculture. Why? Because if you don't know about crop production, you cannot survive in the field of agriculture. That's why it's very important to survive in the corporate world, and it's very important to know the crop production for any of your competitive examinations. Here I am going to explain the crop production in different manner. That is, first one is how the questions maybe arises in these kinds of topics. How to study the crop production, that is very important. Many of the students don't know how to study this crop production part, and they will start mug up the things, and they will forget at the end, and they will remember whatever they are not important, and they will forget whatever is important. That's why I'm going to highlight what all the things which we need to remember. And one of the very important concept is you need to remember the production, productivity and area statistics, at least for the top 3 states, top 3 nations, and top 3 regions where you are living. And next to that, I will discuss briefly about the package of practices and some of the physiological disorders due to some weather aberrations or due to nutrient deficiencies, those things. And here I'm not going to cover any such kind of pest or the diseases, but I will give you a hint how to remember all those things, what are all the things which you need to remember, and what are the things there might not be a need to remember. Okay, next to that is very important concept, that is quality parameters. These things will be appear in your regular examinations again and again, so it's a need to remember these quality parameters. And next to that, I hope in this video, if the time permits, I will also cover some of the possible questions and the questions which already appeared in the different practical and these competitive examinations. Okay, hope you have understood, and we will get into the subject now. First one is, as I already said, how to study the crop production part. Okay, see my dear friends, these are not the conceptual things, such as one concept is there, that thing you need to understand and that you need to remember in a bulk. See, crop production is more or like a, okay, concept which needs more of remembrance, but here the thing is what to remember is very important. Okay, for that I can give one format in my next video as well. Simply I am saying what are all the things which you need to remember means the statistics, first part. Next part is you should remember the botanical stages of the crop. Next to that is what are all the special operations or terminologies will come. For suppose in a cotton, some words like topping, detopping, chemical detopping, delinting, those things will come. Okay, those things, such words may come in other crops also. Those things which you need to remember thoroughly. Next to that is whatever the crop you take, varieties are must. You need to remember some of the exceptional varieties, such as which one is the first hybrid, first variety, which one is having in case of cotton, if you come, which one is having extra staple length, which one is intra-specific variety, which one is interspecific hybrid variety, who has developed that. These things which you need to remember. The next to that is what are all the institutions which are working on these respective crops, because many times, as I saw already, they will ask the institution directly at their locations. Otherwise, they will give the institution this expansion form in the options, and they will give the short form in the question. These kinds of questions may also arise in your competitive examinations. Hence, kindly note that you should remember these institutions which are working on it, and briefly remember the spacings, seed rate, fertilizer recommendation, and you should remember the major pests and diseases, for that matter whatever the crop it may be. With the point of competitive examinations, you need to remember the pests and diseases and their causal agents. Why? Because many of the examinations, they will try to recollect or they will try to connect these pests and diseases with the, okay, crop environment. Whenever you don't know what exactly the disease is, when exactly it will come, those will make you difference in the examinations. Okay, this is one thing. Another one thing is some of the crops, some of the special operations will come. Okay, or some special quality parameters, or some of the toxins will also come. Those are some of the exceptional things. They will not come in all the crops. Okay, whatever the crop you are studying, accordingly you need to study. Hope you have understood, and get into the topic. Today I am going to explain about one of the very important commercial crop of India and the world, that is called cotton. Okay, yeah, here we have entered the introduction. Cotton, as you all know, from the small kid you are seeing the cotton and you have learnt about the cotton. But still, with the point of examination we need to study means cotton, as you all know, it is called by the multiple names as it is very good commercial crop. Okay, first one is it is called as white gold as it is as high as rate or price when compared to other fiber crops, and it is one of the leading producers cotton crop across the globe as well as in India. Whatever the data which I have given here is somewhat old data, so kindly look into the new data which is provided by the ICAR. Another one is very important question is who has introduced the cotton into India? Okay, cotton earlier we are having Desi cotton, but this exotic or newland cotton such as Hirsutum and Barbadans were introduced by East Indian Company. This cannot, it can also become an question, so remember this one. Next to that is weight of one bale of cotton. Weight of one bale of cotton is 170 kg, and weight of one bale of this your sun hemp or fiber, okay, that is around 180 kg. So you need to remember both of them, and you should not get confused with the question whenever they are given in the examinations. Next to that is you can see the different species of cotton, and you need to remember their origins. With respect to Desi cotton, it is, as the word itself indicating, it is an Indian origin. Hirsutum, as I said already, they are also called as New World cotton. Okay, this Hirsutum is originated from the southern Mexico or Guatemala. Okay, the next one is this which one? Hirsutum is, another one is Barbadans. Okay, Gossypium barbadans, which is originated in the northern Peru. Okay, as I already said, you need to remember the statistics of at least the top three nations, which are top three nations with respect to area production productivity, and top three states for area production and productivity. And you need to remember if any major events or the major statistics or happen with respect to the cotton market or cotton production, those things also you need to remember. And next to that is that minimum support price fixed by the government for medium staple, long staple, short staple, all those things you need to remember. Those values I am not giving here. Why? Because they are completely fluctuating datas. But in most of the examinations, they will ask those kinds of datas only. No one is going to ask the permanent data which is already existed in your books. So try to be updated with your knowledge. Then only you can survive in this competitive world. Okay. With respect to the botany of the data, this crop is belongs to the family called Malvaceae. Okay. If you can see, this cotton is one of the perennial crop in the ancient days. Okay, you can also see some of the plants in your gardens or somewhere in the backyards also. They are grown as trees. They are called as tree cottons. But for the commercial sake of view, we have converted that cotton into annual purpose, and we are growing it as an annual crop. Next to that is this cotton is a cross pollinating crop. Up to 0 to 20% of the cross pollination can be observed, and it is semi-xerophytic, which means which requires very less water for its growth cycle completion. Hence, the water requirement of the crop is less. Why this is so? Because this crop is having a deep rooting system. The roots may go up to the distance of 1.8 meter. How much plant height you can see on the earth surface, that much depth the roots will also go to a deeper layers in the soil. That's why it's having a tolerance against drought. Okay. Next, if you see the biology of the plant, basically there are two types of branchings you can observe. They're called as monopodial branches and sympodial branches. What are monopodial branches and sympodial branches? Let us see in the next diagram. This is what is different branches of cotton. Yeah, see here, there are different species are there. As I already said, around 50 species of cotton are there, but for the commercial point of view, we are growing around only 4 species. They are called two types are called Desi cotton, another two types are called exotic cottons. They are also called as old cotton, new old cotton, and many other names are also there. You should remember Egyptian, which one is Egyptian cotton, which one is this United States cotton. Likewise, there are different names are there. You need to remember all those names. Why? Because many of the times they will not give the direct species. They will give those alternative names to confuse you people in the examination. Okay, and most of the commercial varieties or the hybrids which we are growing are hexaploid in nature with respect to cotton, and only few are diploids. Why these diploids have been extinct? Because they are not having good yielding potential when compared to these hexaploid varieties. Okay, and next to that is the amount of area which they have covered. For suppose arboreum is 4%, herbaceum is 5%, and these are some of the hypothetical numbers. These will also varies, but try to remember these numbers because many of the times they will also going to ask these questions. Okay, and you need to remember which variety or which species is mostly grown in your area surrounding. Okay, if you are attending for any of the state examinations, they will concentrate much on this. And you cannot see the much area of desi cotton in nowadays because it's already replaced by the which one, bt cotton. Okay, next to that is land preparation. I don't want to say much about this. Okay, first one is you need to select the soil properly. That is either two types of crops which you can in the two types of lands you can grow the cotton. First one is deep black cotton soils. They're also called as deep black cotton soils. Next one is alluvial soils. Okay, in red soils also you can grow, but it is not that much suitable. Why? Because red soils are not having the ability to store the water. Okay, that will not support the growth of the cotton. If you are having assured irrigations, then only go for sowing of cotton in the red soils. Otherwise, no requirement. Next to this, here you can see how the land will be prepared. Okay, at least yearly once you need to go for the deep flowing, as its roots are penetrate up to how many, penetrate up to how much distance, as I already said, 1.8 meter. Okay, after that you need to pulverize the land and make it and bring it to the fine tilth. Then you can go for the sowing of the seeds. There are different methods are there. Accordingly you need to go. First you need to get the mark down. Why? Because it's having the wider spacing. So without marking, if you go means you cannot maintain the proper population. If you are not maintaining the plant population means you will not get the assured yield. Okay, see here, these are the different seed rates and plant geometry. You need to remember in most of the bt hybrids the recommended space is 105 by 60. Nowadays even 120 by 60 is also going on. So you need to remember for both irrigated and rain fed conditions how much distance they will do and all. You remember these are hypothetical numbers. I won't bother because these are completely depend on the size of the seed and at what spacing you are going and what method you are using. That will determine you these numbers. And most of the times regarding seed requirement calculation they will ask, and I will cover those questions in my future videos as well. See, this is how they will do. The defuzzed seeds will be used for the defuzzed and delinted seeds will be used for the sowing. These pictures are more of a commercial research plot, but it's not exactly same in the our farm of fields. Okay, just for your idea I have given these pictures. Next to that is what is the climatic requirement. As I already said, it's a semi-xerophytic plant and warm season, tropical and subtropical crop. It can be grown successfully in all the weathers and all the weathers, but it requires minimum of 6 to 8 months of cold free months, that is around 180 to 40 frost free days. Okay, this question has been arised in the year 2016, you can remember here. And next one is the average temperature requirement, which is around 15.5 degrees Celsius is good for the cotton growth. And water requirement is around 500 mm. The well distributed rain of around 500 mm is more than enough, and it is moderately salinity tolerant crop, so it can be grown in your saline soils also. Next to that is these are the some of the cardinal temperatures which are required for germination, vegetative growth and all. You just remember the cold temperature is required during the vegetative growth, and warm temperatures are required during the reproductive growth. That's more than enough. Okay, what kind of soil we need is also I have explained. Next one is these are some of the planting methods. From this part many times the questions have been arised, that is what is Chow-Pali system. Chow-Pali system is a type of square planting. Okay, if he is giving an option of square planting in your options, you need to select both Chow-Pali system and square planting, remember. Okay, drill system is there, dibbling is there, and also this tractor drawn or bullock drawn drills with the marking also we will go for the sowing. Okay, you just remember in which area which method of planting has been adopted. Next one is one of the very important concept, that is called as high density planting. In cotton it is called as ultra narrow row planting. This was invented or discovered by USA scientists. In this method, they will sow the cotton at the spacing of 19 centimeter by 19 centimeter, which can accommodate around 2,77,000 plants per hectare. Why this method has become popular? Because as the population increases, the number of bolts per unit area will also increase. Hence, the productivity per unit area has been increased. That's why this method has got the such importance. But at the end, if you don't have the proper crop management techniques, the ultra narrow row planting is not at all suggestible. Okay, at the end of the day we need to understand why these methods have came to existence. And for the sake of competitive examinations, just remember it is having around 12 to 15 days short growing duration, because the competition is very high. So they will complete their life cycle very early, and they are having typically they are having low interception. Okay, low leaf area index and high harvest index. Okay, but for the sake of practical thing, you just forget this technology and just remember who has given this and what is the spacing. Next to that is these are the cultivators for Andhra Pradesh, but see, neglect these varieties, not required. Okay, I will say which varieties which you need to remember. Okay, next to that is seed treatment is very much required, as earlier they used to do the seed treatment for the desi seeds, but nowadays the already pre-treated seeds will be given to the farmers. But still which you need to remember is what we will use for the seed treatment, or before seed treatment what we will do, that is delinting and defuzzing, which means if you see the cotton seed, it is having two types of fiber. One is long fiber, another one is short fiber. The longer one is called as lint and the shorter one is called as fuzz. We need to remove that to increase the germination capacity of the seeds. In order to do that, we have to take the H2SO4 and seeds in the ratio of 1:10. Okay, we need to add the H2SO4 into the seed, then we need to stir it properly so that the fuzz or the lint will be burnt. Then immediately, to reduce the effect of that acid, corrosive acid to the seeds, we need to add the lime solution to neutralize that one, and that will completely remove the lint or the fuzz and bring back the seed into the good condition of germination. Okay, this is what actually they will do. Earlier they used to do with by mixing the seed in a mixture of cow dung and a soil, and they will leave it for 1 or 2 days for fermentation, and then they will go for the rubbing purpose. At that time what will happen means that entire fuzz and the lint will be removed. See here, you can see these are the cotton seed, these are the delinted seeds, which means the lint has been removed and they will be graded and they will be treated with the any of the fungicide like Captan, Thyram or Mancozeb, anyone which you have required. Okay, next to that is some of the important operations which we will do in cotton, that is intercultivation, or other one is weed management. Okay, first one is intercultural operations. As I already said, it's having the wider spacings, hence it requires careful management in the early days. First 30 to 60 days, the crop growth is also very low. Hence, there is a chance of emergence of the weeds. So you need to take care much. Okay, you can also, nowadays there are many of the herbicides, post-emergent herbicides are also available. You can also use them even with respect to systemic or non-selective and non-selective herbicides are available. You just see what are all the new molecules which are available in the market, and they are completely regularly using those chemicals. Okay, the first one is cotton. As I already said, it is a perennial crop. If you left it as it is, it will grow. Okay, in order to check the terminal growth and improve the lateral growth, we will go for the pinching of the terminal part or the newly growing part, that is called as topping in case of cotton, but it is called as pinching in case of pulses. Okay, you need to remember where they will use pinching, where they will use cotton. Okay, the next one is in case of irrigated cotton. Okay, earthing up should be done with the help of flow or a bed harrow after the fertilizer application and irrigation. Okay, that will give the one thing is strength to the plant, another one thing is make a way for the irrigation channel. Okay, this topping can also be done in two ways. One is mechanical topping, another one is chemical topping. Mechanically, they will use some of the implements in the outer countries such as northern countries, but in case of chemically, there are some of the chemicals called psychosil and mepiquat chloride. Okay, these chemicals will be used for chemical detopping. They will be helpful for the checking of terminal growth and improvement of the auxiliary growth. Okay, at what time you need to do is you should do at the age of 45 to 60 days. 45 to 60 days, at that time you need to do, because if you do it before, the plant will be stay in the ground level. If you do it later, by that time already plant structure has become devastated. So you need to do it in a specified period of time. Next to that is fertilizer application. You need to remember the recommended dose of fertilizer. Okay, for the general recommendation, you can remember is 120 kg of nitrogen, 60 kg of phosphorus and 60 kg of potash per hectare we have to recommend. Okay, earlier they used to apply these fertilizers in such a manner that entire quantity of phosphorus and potash will be applied as a basal, and this 120 kg of nitrogen will be split into three parts and it will be applied at 30, 60 and 90 days. Okay, but nowadays nowadays even with respect to potassium also, they are going for the split application, especially in case of recommend with respect to the recommendations of Acharya Engineering Agriculture University. They will apply the potassium in two splits. Okay, two splits they will go for the application of potassium. The time of application and the quantity of application is also very much important. There are two methods of application is there. First one is band method, okay, in the cotton. The next one is ring method. Okay, which one is less time consuming and less labor consuming, you choose that one. If they give in the examination which one is the best method, that is ring method. Which one is the cost effective method, that is band placement. Next one is it's having many of the physiological disorders. I will going to explain one after next in this video. Next one is first one is Tirak, which means bad bowl opening. When it will happens, because whenever if you are not supplying the water properly in a regular interval, this problem will happen. Okay, it's also called as premature defensive defective opening of the bowls, or if any diseases will happen or any pests will damage. This problem is the common problem which is faced by all the farmers. Okay, next to that is red leaf disorder. It will happen in two cases. One is that magnesium toxicity, another one is nitrogen deficiency. Next to that is little leaf of cotton. You can remember, wherever the zinc deficiency is there, not only in cotton, in many of the crops, it is also leads to form the little leaf, or it is also looks like a bouquet or a rosetting type. Okay, that's why you need to remember the deficiency of the zinc. Next to that is if the soil is having much of the manganese, then the crinkle leaf disorder can also be seen. And one of the very important micronutrient which decides the uh, cotton productivity is boron. If the boron deficiency will happen, you can see the square drop, bold drop, and many other problems in the crop. Okay, hence we can apply the boron for soil, as well as we can apply the boron directly for the foliar at the rate of 0.1%, 0.1 to 0.2% depending on the soil test. Okay, here in this diagram you can see the deficiency of the boron. Even though they are having sufficient number of the squares, they will not get converted into harvestable bowls. Next to that is magnesium deficiency. Magnesium deficiency or magnesium toxicity, that is red leaves. Next to that is manganese deficiency, and next to that is potassium deficiency. Irrigation management. Here you need to remember the critical period of crop water requirement, that is first 25 to first 60 days. Okay, you need to give the water in a regular interval at the interval of 25 days. And the critical period of water requirement is flowering and bud development stage. If you are having one more irrigation, means you can give at the seedling stage. Usually in the kharif season there is no much requirement of the water, hence you can give up to 2 to 3 irrigations, that are more than enough. Even those irrigations are also nullified whenever the sufficient amounts of well distributed rains will be there. But in case of rabi season, around 6 irrigations were required. Okay, different methods of irrigations will be adopted. Even drip irrigations can be effectively adopted in the cotton, and alternative row wetting method is very much effective in cotton. Next to that, as we will grow in the black soil, there should not be any water stagnation, because it is sensitive to water logging. So try to maintain the well dried soils. Next to that is weed management. Here also no need to remember much, just remember the critical period of crop weed competition, that is around starting 50 to 60 days. Why? Because the early stages of the crop is very slow. That will affect the growth of the plant. Okay, if the weeds will be grown. These are some of the possible weed species which will appear in the cotton, such as Trianthema, Echinoclava. These are blah blah blah. These will be depend on the location. These will be depend on the soil and whether you are using FIM or not. So no need to bother. Okay, here you need to remember at least 2 to 3 chemicals which one is used for pre-plant incorporation, which one is pre-emergence and post-emergence. These are some of the two old molecules, but the new molecules are already arrived in the market. You just look into that. Okay. And one question, possible question with respect to herbicide is, which herbicide is called as cotton herbicide? Okay, that is diuron. Okay. At the same time, I can also say one more, that is which herbicide is called as soybean herbicide. Hope you all know that one, and try to comment the name of the herbicide in the comment section. Next, that is how they will do the weed management. First picture showing pre-emergent application of the herbicides. Next one is hand weeding. Next one is intercultivation between the rows at the age of 30 days. That will be more effective method of weed control when compared to any other methods of weed control. Next, that is the hand removal of the weeds to check the weed growth. And one of the very important question is quality parameters. Okay, why you need to remember, because many times they will ask directly what is the length of, they will give that's long staple cotton is having this much length of the fiber, this much micron here. Likewise the questions may be arises, hence you just critically analyze this topic and remember the numbers. Okay, first one is first you need to understand which part is very important. Okay, there are two terminologies will come. One is seed cotton, another one is cotton seed. Seed cotton is nothing but seed plus cotton or fiber. Cotton seed matlab it is just a seed. Okay, next to that is, here the fruiting part is called as bole, or the opened bole is called as kapas. Okay, and one more thing I forgot to say in the earlier, this question has been arised in the SRF 2023, that is sequence of the growth stages of cotton. Simply they have given squaring, bole formation, flowering, bole opening and picking. You need to arrange these words in an order. They will come in an order such as squaring, followed by flowering, followed by bole formation, followed by bole development, followed by bole opening, followed by picking. These are this is the sequence which you need to remember. This question will be arised in SRF as well as ERS exam also. Okay, there are different quality parameters of the cottons which are available. They are called as fiber length, fiber strength, ginning percentage, color, trash, fiber, blah blah blah. Okay, you just remember the numbers, and the another one is the formulas and what are the instruments used for detection or determination of these quality parameters. Okay, first one is ginning percentage. Which one is having the least ginning percentage? That is around barbidans. Around only 1% of the area is with respect to barbidans. This is the main reason, but this is the very good and hard fiber with respect to any other species of the cotton. Next to that is lint index. Okay, lint index is the weight of lint per seed cotton. You can calculate it by weight of lint by weight of 100 seed cotton into ginning percentage. Okay, next to that is fiber qualities, which also includes fiber length, which can be measured by arealometer, and fiber fineness, which is micronide. Okay, fiber length with you can measure with fiber length we can measure with this one steelometer. Okay, with respect to fiber fineness we will use arealometer. Okay, sorry if I said wrong. Okay, next is fiber strength, spinning performance and oil content. This fiber length numbers, these are categorized into different groups such as short, medium, long and extra long. Their staple length is 19 centimeter or below, 19 centimeter or below, 20 to 24, 24 to 27.5 and about 27.5. Next one is fiber fineness. The finer the fiber, more will be the strength. Okay, you remember that one. This sentence may also appear in your analytical type of questions. Okay, if the fiber is rough, its value will get deteriorated or reduced. Next, that is fiber length. Fiber length can be measured using, already as I said, stilometer. Okay, stilometer. You can remember the different categories as well. Next one is fiber strength. Fiber strength means how much power which can withstand, that is one centimeter cube of fiber, how much it will withstand, that will become its strength. Okay, here also they will come hard, medium and soft, you need to remember. Okay, spinning performance and oil content and all, no need to bother, but how much amount of the oil is contributed by the cotton towards the vegetable oil, if they ask the question, means around 10%. Around 10%, how much oil content these cotton seeds are having, means around 15 to 25%. Okay, next is cropping system. Here you just remember, in northern states like Gujarat and all, they will grow for cotton, soybean and groundnut. And as I already said, in Gujarat, Chafali system is there. They will also go for 1:2 ratios of cotton and groundnut as well. And the most popular systems of Haryana and Rajasthan are cotton and wheat, cotton and wheat and cotton and mustard. The next one is strip cropping. This is one terminology which you need to remember, which means two or more than two crops are grown in a strip of 7 to 8 rows. 7 to 8 rows. Okay, grown in a strip of 7 to 8 rows. These questions they will give or confuse in such a manner that they will ask two or more crops will be grown in a same place, but they will not mention in a strip. Okay, there many of the students will get confused. And in this strip cropping, usually in the elevated areas, how they will grow, how they will grow means, the highly erodible crops will be grown at the top, and the less erodible plants will be grown at the bottom of the elevations. Okay, next, how they will harvest, they will pick the kapas. Here the process of harvesting is called as picking. Okay, usually you should go for the picking in the cooler times of the day, but there should not be water droplets. Okay, the picking should be clean and it should not contain any of the foreign materials or the crop debris. They will reduce the quality of the kapas. And next to that is, these kapas of different harvests should not be mixed, because the first and last picked cotton will be of poor quality. So we should not mix those with the middle ones. And we have to pick the tirak or bad opened cotton, or a cotton which is infected with any of the pests such as pink bollworm. Whenever the pink bollworm will be infected the cotton, there will be a staining. Okay, those things will be picked separately and kept separate. If you mix that one, means it will reduce the cotton quality. After proper drying, we will go for the bagging. Okay, this is how they will do. Nowadays, they will go for, in the Western countries, they will go for one-time harvest. That is using mechanical harvesting by using some of the plant growth regulators such as ethylene. With the application of that one, it will leads to the fall of late formed bolls. Hence, all the bolls will be opened at a time, and they will go for the application of defoliants so that all the leaves will be fallen. Then they will go for the mechanical picking with respect to mechanical harvesters which are having sensors which will pick only the kapas. Okay, this is what about cotton crop, and I will also give some of the possible questions in my next video as this has become already long. So hope you have understood all the concepts and hope you have understood the way of reading of crop production. Okay, if you like the video, share with your friends, give a like, and this will give more energy for me to do the next videos. Here the time is, you can see here, this time is morning 5:20. So hope you will understand and support. Thank you.